Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Nuggets News. We're back with all our weekly crypto news updates with Michael. He's pumping out all that alpha daily over on the platform. And just a reminder, we've been talking about taking profits, guys. So for all your orders 10k or bigger, head over to Uptrade, that link down below. And a lot of people now as well rotating into gold or silver tokens, and they'll help you do all that sort of stuff. But deep into the cycle, and there's been some big gains on a lot of these altcoins now.
Yeah, funny you mentioned. We're going to talk about this today, but the actual rotation for gold and silver is absolutely on. Um, we'll dive in, but I think we can celebrate another Bitcoin all-time high this week. We broke well past 150K, which is just mind-blowing that these are the numbers that we talk about now. Like I remember thinking, oh man, it's just so expensive buying Bitcoin at 10K, and like, holy dooly, man, like yeah, these numbers are astronomical. And you see, like, even like BNB up 27% on the week. Like, just I think 3 weeks ago, we congratulated BNB on cracking the 1,000 mark, and they've just steamrolled that this week. So,
Yeah.
yeah, some absolute winners in the space, that's for sure.
And privacy coins, which we're going to touch on. I think Zcash is up 70% on the week as more and more people, we talk about how all this digital ID, all this stuff ties in with crypto. So no surprise that Monero, Zcash, these truly, truly private coins are probably going to have another run at some point as people want to preserve their privacy.
I was looking at it the other day, Zcash not showing up. Yeah, Monero having a run. I'll, I won't dig deep on it right now. But yeah, just there's some absolute sectors that are popping right now. And I think, we'll cover a fair few of them today, but it just goes to show that if you're in the right areas and you're looking in the right places, we are in a full-blown bull market. It's just not like previously where every single like bit of trash that you could possibly buy is moving, but just the quality sectors are.
Yeah.
Well, to dive in, we're seeing here that all of the big boys now are getting involved, and the recommendation now coming is that Morgan Stanley saying that everyone should have sort of 2 to 4% of your portfolio in crypto, which is like again amazing. You think about all the money that's under management in the US and all of these big boy banks now suggesting 2 to 4% in crypto. Like the market cap we've got right now, which 4 trillion of which half is Bitcoin, so 2 trillion and everything else is that's going to get blown away in the coming years, especially with these types of numbers and inflows.
Yeah, and we spoke about Vanguard opening up for their customers last week, and down there, in that tweet, you've also got UK opening up to exchange traded notes and ETF like products. So if these big managers are kind of talk about that sort of allocation for everyone, it's just incredible. Yeah.
And the big one this week as well was the stablecoin market heats up as Tether specifically is coming off the gold and their new gold backed token. So obviously they've figured out now the business model here, and gold seems to be the hot property. And so they're absolutely hoarding gold thanks to the paywall here. But they're absolutely trying to get into this gold market space as nation states actually try and hoard as much gold as possible.
Yeah, it's been around for a pretty long time, I think, XAUT token, but they've
Yep.
raised another 200 mil to obviously buy more gold, issue more tokens, because as we said, a lot of people are wanting to rotate now into gold or into silver, that type of thing.
I'd be very interested to know what their back end monetization strategy is here as a company, because it's a very straightforward one with Tether because they buy a treasury and they get a yield on it. But there's no yield attached to gold. So there must be some sort of backdoor deal that they've done where all of the gold that they'll hold will be able to use as collateral for something else. And they'll be getting some sort of loan against that to then generate some sort of yield. Like I did a big research piece and deep dive on the monetization model of gold backed tokens. And it was very unclear on how you monetize a non-yield bearing asset that's collateral. So they've obviously done deal with deal with deal. There's probably a couple of different banks involved. But yeah, I'd love to see behind the curtain there. Um, so the New York Stock Exchange owner takes a 2 billion stake in Polymarket, and I think I've mentioned Polymarket here a few times in the last 5 weeks. But I've got a big section on prediction markets right here because, again, this just seems to be the way that people are going as information becomes so disjointed and as no one can really trust what AI looks like and what is real and what is not real. prediction markets just seem to be the way that we can actually verify truth. That it's people put money against something that they believe in, and a 2 billion stake in Poly Market. This is just becoming a behemoth.
Yeah, and some of these markets are tying into what's unfolding geopolitically. You know, people making big bets on, well, will the Epstein list be released and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
what people don't realize is as there's money in play, there actually becomes a push for those things to fulfill. So, yeah, I'm all about decentralized markets because you're getting the wisdom of the crowd. And yeah,
And people putting their capital against their actual opinion instead of just spurting off rubbish like people do on X
yeah,
or even here on YouTube.
yes,
Um, so Citadel again putting in the big money, and I think this is like super interesting as well because what you see here is now Robinhood looking to explore prediction markets outside of the US as well. There's been some restrictions on them being able to do it inside the US, but um, Robinhood's trying to become the new Coinbase. Coinbase is trying to become the new Robinhood. It's all converging to be crypto and stocks and everything all in one just new financial system. And so they're going to try and get into this space as well. And they've got just an obscene amount of money. Their stock is absolutely pumping. And we'll see what they're trying to do here.
yeah.
The other new, like, sort of meta, forgive the pun here, but meta DAO, this is something that I've been very interested in for a long time. And I've been trying to figure out an angle about how to get involved in it. But creating on chain enterprises. And so the whole concept of a DAO is that you do have a community that can all come together, they all vote, they all own a stake of the network, but they can leave at any time. It's like volunteered, capitalized communism in a weird way, where it's like everyone benefits from the collective but it's absolutely financially driven. But you can leave at any time, and that's what freedom is. You're not locked into something. But these are sort of on-chain enterprises seem very interesting to me because it gives people an opportunity to not necessarily even be running like an on-chain product, but to be able to raise funds and a governance model on-chain.
Yeah.
And this may be the new use case. Like this may be the thing where not necessarily every business needs to be a blockchain business, but its revenue streams and its governance is all determined on chain.
And this was some of the earliest Ethereum projects were these. I think the first one was called the DAO, where it was a
Yeah.
decentralized autonomous organization. This was the model where people would be, working, doing, mercenary type employment, this type of thing. Just pay people for any job and not even have met each other, know who each other are, but you're all contributing towards a decentralized business.
A gig-based economy where people can literally sit at their computer and they can just go and achieve things and do things and earn money, and it can be a common good, a common treasure, a common pot of money, and you can join that common collective at any time by contributing your stake inside the community, and then you get a voice inside that community. They are really like digital nations
Yes.
emerging, and so I love this stuff. I think this is so interesting. Um, we continue the perps trading, the perps dex type sort of narrative here, where another one lighter. This has had like it's got its own ethel too as well. It's been in sort of a test net for the last 8 months, and now it's gone live, and they just absolutely received a huge amount of influx as well. I think $1 billion market cap already. Again, these like we saw what happened with CZ and the Asta platform, like just skyrocketing instantly. Here's another one. So I don't know how long this can go on, but just another one and another one and another one. They're just going to eat each other's lunch, or are they going to continue to grow this perps platform industry? But it's connected to like what I guess Polymarket is doing. It's predictions. It's trying to forecast the future and sticking your money to it. But
I
another
think
big one.
I think they're all going to keep making money as long as number go up. But then this is going to be one of those things where we really see 90% of these die when the altcoins and the trading and the hype gets sucked out of the market.
Especially when revenues dry up. We saw what Punt Fund did. As soon as revenues dried up, they launched the token at an obscene market price and just liquid and like exit scammed. And I don't know, we won't dive too much into this, but there was a whole bunch of controversy apparently at the Punt Fund office this last week. Um, Rumors going around that a whole bunch of people were laid off because of some obscene party that was Wolf of Wall Street esque. And but
Yeah,
this
okay.
is what hap- this is what happens when you get like young people with obscene amounts of money and influence, and then there's just no cap on what they can say yes to. And yeah, we'll see. I think there's going to be a little back that'll come from this, but off topic. We'll talk about that another day.
And I think it's a sign that we're closer to the top than than the bottom when these things start to happen.
For sure, for sure. Another really interesting one here, I guess this is the whole thing we've been speaking about, is that this neobank narrative is going to be huge, where there'll be the merging of traditional finance with decentralized finance, and these neobanks, which are like could be non-custodial or could be have elements of custodial services, maybe just for on-ramping and off-ramping and for payments, but still using DeFi for a lot of the actual like revenue that gets derived. So obviously Plasma having this I don't actually know this project, but using Visa card Tria, using Tria, your 6% kickback on all your purchases. And this is you loading up like a like debited Visa card and getting cash back, whether in tokens or stable coins on all your purchases. Like this is just like DeFi continuing to eat the world's financial services by just having that layer of centralization via Visa cards on the surface.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, very interesting. I think that this is the neobank narrative is exactly like what XRP is going to try and do with their stablecoin and all of these stablecoins. You can kind of see the writing on the wall here. The stablecoin movement, what's going to happen, everything that's going to come on chain. I actually had an example of this when doing research for the show. So this is actually close to home here. This is an Indonesian project where they actually tie together a network of co-ops. So like co-ops are like non-national banks. They're actually just local banks. This image is not loading here, which is a really cool image, which is unfortunate. But it's like a co-op organizer where they bring together a network of these little lending credit unions, which might service a village or a community, but they've actually decided to bring this service on chain. And what it means is that they can connect all of these different co-ops all together from all over the world, all over Indonesia, sorry, and actually mean that your credit rating can follow you around the country. Your lending services can expand. And so this is for the underserved and the underprivileged that might be using just local lending markets, but these local lenders can connect into like a broader blockchain um, infrastructure, and all of a sudden they can go global with what they're trying to do. There we go, got the image loaded. You know, just massive amounts of these little tiny lenders that exist in far-flung parts of the world now all coming together and having the power of like a big behemoth bank because they can connect into a blockchain network.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
So I know that I've actually been privileged enough to work with project here. So full disclosure, I'm involved in this project. But same sort of thing, like trying to actually provide like digital infrastructure on chain to um, real institutional services and making it so that the the blockchain technology we have doesn't get bastardized, and it's not just um, these blockchains being used as closed loop networks, but that we can actually try and bring real world users on chain. And so I've been lucky enough here in Indonesia to work making so that we've got like a government infrastructure for health insurance claims being used on blockchain and data storage being used on chain. And the Indonesian government's now using compute services all on chain as well for AI inference packages. And
So you're one of the founders of this one, Michael, and round one of the sales sold out as well for the Mandala chain.
yes, yeah, there actually is a pre-sale live right now. So bit of a bit of a personal shield here. You can go to token.mandalachain.ai, and if you chuck in Republic Labs, there's a bit of a bonus here. But yeah, there is a pre-sale live right now. But I am one of the co-founders of this project and working with different aspects of the Indonesian government, and it's been pretty interesting what we've been able to do to try and bring a developing nation on chain for the first time.
Yeah, that's awesome, mate. It's great to see kind of a real world use case, as you say, particularly with that D join. I like that a lot.
Yeah, so there's a lot happening in the space. I think it's pretty exciting to see how these emerging markets will actually be more willing to test out new things. And it's not just the big boys over in Wall Street that are trying to suck up all of the value that's being created by this new industry, but we're actually got the people. And I think that's what blockchain was all about initially, is its power to the people. And that's why prediction markets, like what we talk about today, giving a voice to people that can be trusted because, it's harder to fake.
Yes, exactly. Well, mate, appreciate that, guys. You can head over to nuggetsnews.com.au for our free newsletter, all our premium research, or our high net worth services. We did have the VIP call last night, first Tuesday of every month. And don't forget, for those large orders, if you want to avoid all those banking issues people are having, head over to Uptrade and they will look after you. But, Michael, we will chat again next week. Cheers. Cheers, guys.